it's Misha, and I have another book that I'd like to share with you on how we can live our fantasy in our reality. So let's get into it. Hey guys, it's me, Misha. I'm back with Book Psych, and today we're going to talk about daddy issues. So tonight's book is King of Wall Street, written by Louise. It is the first book in her series, The Royals. The main characters in King of Wall Street are Max and Harper. Alright? Max obviously is the King of Wall Street. He has this company that he's built from the ground up. He is tough. He's what most people would describe as the hard type, okay? But when you're running a business, you kind of have to be a little hard. Harper finally gets her dream job to work for him, all right? And as she's trying to, create this proposal, okay, that they're on, their interaction starts to weigh on the attraction that they have for each other, okay? Sparks fly, of course, and then they get into their relationship. Through their relationship, okay, Harper talks to her friend Grace, and you start to find out what Harper's issues are. Her issues are the fact that she had an absentee father, all right, so she doesn't trust well. She doesn't trust easily. Now, right there, we can all relate to that, all right? I'm quite sure whether it's been a father, a mother, a spouse, a partner, whoever. We've been abandoned, most of us, at some point in some type of relationship, and we understand that feeling, okay? Maybe we've been betrayed. Either way, we've had our heart broken from one relationship or another, so all of us can kind of relate to that mistrust there. Now, mistrust for children that have daddy issues takes on a whole different level. It's a completely different meaning. Daddy issues don't always pertain to just women, all right? There are a lot of daddy issues that can go on in same-sex relationships. The difference is how it is applied, okay, or how it's manifested in our lives. Now, I read a lot of psychology today, so you'll probably hear me reference a lot of articles, all right? Now, one of the issues for women is the fact that either their father was not there, or he was there, but due to whatever reasons was preoccupied with other things, and they develop feelings of not being good enough, okay? Hence, you'll see in the case with Harper. Now, for same-sex relationships, it's the same thing, okay? Either way, there was an absentee father, or there was a father that was there, but probably is, very occupied in whatever. Just a side note, as human beings, in the way we see life going, I just feel we kind of need to ease up on fathers just a bit and understand that they're out there working hard, and it's very difficult to raise children and working so much and trying to maintain a job. I know as a single mother for such a long time, it was hard for me, all right? So we need to ease up on our parents. If a father's not there, and I'm only speaking of fathers at this time because of the fact we're dealing with daddy issues, give fathers a little break if they are present and they are trying to do the right thing. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to grow up and not have any issues. The way the world is going now, you can have both parents there and we'll still end up with some issues, all right? It's very, very difficult not to have those broken pieces. But specifically today, we're dealing with absentee fathers and fathers that were there but did not show that love, that give that confidence, okay, to their children. And what happens is they end up growing up, and it does affect their relationship. They start to look for a father figure in a relationship. Now, the problems that come along with a father figure relationship. One, you don't want to be intimately involved with your father, okay? So we need to take a step back and look at that relationship. Why are we attracted to this older person? All right? Is that older person in our list, okay, of qualities? Do they match our list of qualities of what we're looking for? And I'm quite sure if you go back and reevaluate your list, nowhere on that list does it say I want someone to be like my father. I don't want to date my father. Now, another issue is if they're not looking for someone that's older than them, then they're looking for someone to take care of them. It's very, very critical to give a child that attention as a father, because fathers instill that confidence. Fathers instill the how do you say, love of self. All right. And I'm quite sure people will have a lot of issues, or, you know, they would go on questioning what I'm saying. I'm not counting mothers out, okay? For goodness sake, I'm a mother. I was a single mother. So I'm not going to cut out women. We have a very, very strong role that cannot be eliminated. But I think we need to stop underestimating the importance of the father's role. All right? Whether a father lives with you or not, that father is going to establish your self-worth. Okay? And it all kind of goes back to, you know...
Now, how does it affect the person if they're in, you know, they have a strong relationship with the father and they care about the father and all that stuff? But how would it affect them if the father still, you know, there's just not that connection on the father's end?
Okay.
The child has the connection, but...
Mm-hmm. If the father is present, all right, and the child and the father have a good relationship, okay, one of the things that's going to happen is they're going to constantly be afraid of who it is that they're attracted to, whether or not they're going to get, excuse me, their father's approval. All right. So that tends to weigh heavy on the person in their choices. Again, you've heard me say this before, everything should be balanced, okay? If we lean more on the positive side, then those choices, that approval that you're trying to seek from your father is going to be a good thing, all right? Because then you'll steer away from partners that are going to bring you down. You'll steer away from partners that are going to destroy you. You'll steer away from partners that you know are not intellectually, emotionally, and physically beneficial to you. All right? Now, if it's more on a negative side that that relationship with your father, you're going to lean toward the opposite. You're going to lean toward all of those intellectual, spiritual, emotional, physical attributes that are negative in your relationship because you feel that you're not worthy. All right? And that's where the difference comes in. That's where that balance comes in. Fathers help establish that self-worth. So if you have a good relationship with your father and that relationship is balanced, okay, it was done in a healthy way, you're going to have healthier relationships. All right? It's the same thing with the mother, but like I said, today we're not talking about the mothers. We're talking specifically about daddy issues. All right? Now, getting back to some of the other things, because I'm quite sure at this point, you're probably trying to figure out how Harper actually fits into some of these daddy issues. Her daddy issue comes around to the distrust. All right. She felt abandoned. She felt that, she was never good enough. She always had to keep working harder to try to establish her approval. So it showed in her relationship, all right, where she always second guessed herself. And that's detrimental to you. You find that if you're working harder to get someone's approval, you work so hard that you even overlook the fact that they're already approving of you. You completely cannot see that they're not having the same issues with you that you're having with yourself. And then you can't believe them because you don't see it. So it's kind of a snowball effect with the ramifications that come along with starting off a relationship with a particular daddy issue like that. Okay, so that's how Harper ties in.
Now, how old is Harper?
Harper's like, late 20s.
Okay. At what point do you think the child should start taking some responsibility and, what am I trying to say?
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop letting the parents or make excuses like the parent is why I can't do this and everything. At what point do you think the child's,
And again, I'm quite sure I'm going to get a lot of, feedback on this one. I technically feel at 18 when they become an adult. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. For some of us, it takes later. Things have to happen to us. We have to go through certain experiences to gain certain wisdom in order for that light bulb to go off. All right? But at some point in your early life, when that maturity hits, all right, you have to stop and realize, okay, yes, I have these issues. They were instilled in me because I didn't have this parent. I didn't have that parent. Okay, we know how the issues were created. But stop blaming your parents at that point. We know your parents created the issue. Guess what? They had parents that created issues for them. All right, so you're not the first and you're not going to be the last. But what are you going to do about those issues? You need to ask those questions. If you want a relationship, if you want a healthy relationship, ask yourself, what am I going to do? First, just like with any type of healing or recovery, you have to go through the acceptance. Accept the fact that you have some issues. Be honest with yourself and analyze each relationship that you go into and come out of. Be honest with yourself and accept it. Okay? Now when I say go through these steps, sometimes we all deny it. Okay? And you'll probably go in and out of all these steps. There's no particular order. All right? But at some point you do have to accept it. When you accept it, then start asking yourself, okay, how can I fix this? How can I stop the cycle? Where can I go? Again, I'm not a counselor, but I'll be the first person to tell you, go find somebody to talk to, a professional, because they will help you to see things. They will help you develop a plan as to how you can have healthier relationships. I'm only talking from my experience. Have I had daddy issues? Yeah, I've had some daddy issues, okay? You have to be able to express your feelings. My father was present, but...
I got a question. With your daddy issues, were they similar to Harper's? And were your reactions similar to how Harper reacted to her daddy issues?
Yes, I've had some daddy issues. And I will admit, it took me a little while to understand. And I think it took me longer to see it because I had so much going on in my life. I really didn't have the time. I was worried about survival. I was worried about my children's survival. So it took me longer. Not that that's an excuse, but just understand, okay? So yeah, it took me a little longer. Daddy issues are daddy issues, okay? They manifest themselves in different aspects, but I think they all stem from the same lack of self-worth, distrust, okay? Not feeling that you are ever good enough, okay? And that stems back to lack of self-worth also. But I think a lot of us take it just a little too far. We become obsessed with being the best at everything, because if we're the best, we'll get just that attention that we need, because that's the only time they praise us. So that's slightly different than lack of self-worth. Lack of self-worth is we're not even going to try to do our best because we think we're not even good enough to get that far. All right, so there's two different sides of that self-worth issue. Let me just start off by, I've probably had all the wrong men in my life. Meaning wrong men that did not fit me, okay? I've changed dramatically from who I was when I was younger. When I started to really analyze myself and what I kept going through, I realized that I had kind of shut off. I distrusted people. For me, because of what I had gone through, I had just shut off. So I was very quiet when I was younger. I didn't have a lot of things to say. I kept my opinions to myself. And those of you that know me, I'm quite sure you're sitting back like, who is she talking about? Because today I am, like I said, I'm the complete opposite. Today I am much more vocal. I'm much more confident. Today I will fight for what it is that I want in my life, and I will fight for, what I believe in. I'm not going to just sit back quiet. And it's funny because once I became comfortable with me and decided, no, I'm not settling anymore. I'm not going to do this because it's what people feel I should do. Okay? This is what I'm going to do because it's what I want to do. I became a lot happier with myself. A lot happier in life. And it might be a little cliche, but I honestly have to say that at my age now, I've learned that a lot of cliches are true. Shocking. Very shocking. But cliches can sometimes be true. Now, I am a bit traditional, so I didn't ever go out searching for a particular man. I didn't approach them. Okay? I believe that the man should approach me. Now, there were a few times that, I did make myself available and I said, okay, I'm going to make the first contact. And trust me, on those, I was not happy about it. And I went back to, this person, if a man wants me, he's going to approach me. Okay? That's just the way I feel that things should be done. Clearly today things are done differently. So I'm not saying anything's bad against it. I'm not saying it's what you have to go back and do. I'm just saying it's what I choose. All right? Be comfortable in what you choose. And understand, guess what? There are people out there that are waiting for you to approach them. And there are people out there who will approach you. It's just how things are. One other key point that I want to bring up is the fact that when we are looking for a mate, whether we have daddy issues or not, be realistic. All right? Don't look for someone who is perfect, who doesn't have the issue, Don't look for someone who doesn't have this issue, doesn't have that issue. Oh, this man is never going to do this. This man is never going to do that. This woman will never do this. She'll never do that. That is not realistic, okay? It's also not healthy. There are going to be times in a relationship, all right, where you're going to see the opposite. You're going to see the flaws, all right? You're going to see the broken pieces. Don't look for someone that's not broken. And I know this probably contradicts a lot of what, people tell you. But again, I'm a firm believer in the fact that if you've had a relationship, you have some broken pieces. You have some baggage, okay? Some baggage, yes, you need to get rid of, just let go and not carry into a new relationship. Some baggage is just going to stay with you for the rest of your life. But how you choose to handle it, how you choose to manage it, eventually takes care of the cure, the remedy. And eventually you'll get to the point where that won't be an issue for you anymore. All right, guys, so the rating now for King of Wall Street. I'd have to say King of Wall Street is a good book. It kept my interest. I felt that it had a lot to offer as far as understanding what children go through with the daddy issues, which is why I chose it. And I'm quite sure that we will be able to explore more on this. All right, guys, so if you like this, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification and keep a lookout for the next book in the Royal series, The Prince of Park Avenue. And we will discuss all types of loss and how we handle loss in relationships.